Hello friends, and welcome to the second edition of Hot Ones PhysioLogic Style, where we basically copy the show Hot Ones, but we have a slightly medical context, less sauces, and less views. As always, I'm joined by Phil and Zane. I am your parent host, Lee, and together we represent PhysioLogic.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, well, that was just like we practiced. If you watched our first Hot Ones video, you might be thinking to yourself, surely these guys aren't dumb enough to do that again. And the answer to that would be yes, we are. And this time we have company. That's right, today we are joined by orthopedic surgeon Dr. Stephen Appleton and physician associate Katy Neary. They practice with the Texas Joint Institute in Dallas and specialize in hip and knee surgeries. I think it's a good idea that we go ahead and say out loud that you guys are here willingly and on your own accord. We are not forcing you against your will here.
No, we just have really bad judgment.
Are you guys familiar with the show? You've seen a Hot Ones episode before?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yes. And what'd you say? You guys say you have a good tolerance for spicy food?
No, zero. This is going to go very poorly.
Well, that's what we're looking for. I think that's what makes for a good video. Okay, without further ado, I think we're going to let Phil introduce the first sauce.
All right. First one we got, Lee.
Yes.
See that one on the left? Yellow Bird with a Scoville rating of 54,500. So hitting the ground running on this one.
Little cheers. I'm going to go ahead and do that. While you're passing that around and while we're dabbing, I'm going to give a little background. Dr. Appleton received his medical degree from the University of Texas Health Science Center in San Antonio. He completed his orthopedic residency at the University of Vermont and received further training at Duke University, where he completed a fellowship in adult reconstructive surgery of the hip and knee. But here's the interesting thing. During his undergrad at Emory in Atlanta, he was an avid skydiving instructor and competitor, which is going to lead into our first question. Let me go ahead. Let's cheers. Cheers, cheers, cheers. Good luck, guys.
That one's familiar.
This is the beginning? That one tastes like home. We're gonna get right into it. Let it start to burn a little bit. So, Dr. Appleton, how does one compete in skydiving? Is there a point system or?
It's the make sure you pull your string. The main part of skydiving challenges is a four-way formation fly. So basically a four-way team, you have a set number of different shapes to make. They're drawn out of the hat. You have a videographer that jumps out with you to record it, and then it's scored once you get back to the ground. So the number of times that you can go through the certain cycle, basically the more points you earn.
Wow, so you would say it's the flare in the air.
No, I would.
You would say that? That's just something I would say.
To each their own.
Yeah.
I've never been skydiving.
Yeah, what compelled you to jump out of the plane in the first place?
I was not married at the time.
Oh, okay. All
All right, well, not.
Yeah, just a little tingle, but I'm good. So far, so good.
Toes in the water. Yeah, toes in
All
the
right.
water.
That second one there, Lee.
Move to
Torchbearer slaughter sauce. 67,500 Scovilles.
I don't know if you guys saw what I did the first time. I just kind of went all along like that.
I didn't warn you, just so you know.
You did do that?
I saw what
Yeah,
you
Are you sure? Can we?
I
I don't know.
Yeah, I saw what all of y'all did, and I did way less.
So let me talk about Katy a little bit. Katy received her Bachelor of Science in Biology from the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville in 2012, and her Master of Physician Assistant Studies from the University of North Texas Health Science Center in Fort Worth, Texas. That's something that UNT people do. Did they tell you that?
Yes, I have heard that.
They did. Okay.
No.
Just for the record, I've never seen it.
You never
Don't do that.
Doesn't do that after each surgery?
John, yeah. Cheers.
Oh, yeah.
So outside of work, Katy enjoys spending time with her husband, son, 2 dogs, reading novels such as Harry Potter and cheering on the Arkansas Razorbacks and the Dallas Cowboys. Katy, let me ask you this. What demographic would you consider to be the biggest losers? People that read Harry Potter or Dallas Cowboys fans?
There is there's no easy way or even a good way to answer this question. I'm gonna have to say Harry Potter because we're proud of being nerds, whereas Dallas Cowboys, there's still hope of winning.
It's our year, baby.
It's our year.
It is.
Every
This is the
Yes.
year.
Let me
This is the
clarify.
year.
I like both Harry Potter and Dallas Cowboys, so I'm with you there.
You have to realize that we're in medicine. I mean, we are all, by definition of being in medicine, geeks.
Yes.
It just so happens in ortho, we're actually cool geeks.
All right,
Yeah.
that third sauce there, if you want to go pick that one out, is the Bomb. And it has a Scoville rating of 135,000. So 2 times only just 10.
This is what the regular Hot Ones usually ends on.
We went like a really big jump up.
I'm gonna go a little less on this one.
Cheers, fam.
Cheers.
See you on the
The
other
Bomb.
side.
Oh,
It's rather bad.
Don't chew it.
Whoa.
Don't chew it.
That tastes like chemical warfare.
Oh no. I'm hiccuping. I can't.
Circle around back to the Harry Potter thing. If you were to assign each other to certain Harry Potter houses, who would they be and why?
I don't know where to assign you guys, but Death Eater.
We're the Dementors. What do you need?
Ranch isn't cheating, right?
Go ahead.
Milk is
It's
cheating,
ranch.
but not
It's
ranch.
ranch.
He can probably recite an encyclopedia. He's one of the smartest people I know, so probably Ravenclaw, but also maybe Hufflepuff, because I feel like you just get along with anybody and everybody.
Okay, and if you had to house her,
I would definitely put Katie in Ravenclaw. She is brilliant. She absolutely knows more than I would put her opinion above that of actually many doctors.
you guys have a good working relationship, and you guys have to trust
You
each
guys
other.
have literally never said anything
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, we
No.
know.
Are you guys doing okay?
We're going hotter?
We're gonna go a little hotter.
Just a little bit.
Don't worry, there's only 4 more.
Blair's Ultra Death Sauce. Supposedly, this is 800,000 Scoville.
800,000.
More than 4 times the one we just did.
This is so dumb.
Oh wow.
This
Get
one
the like shake from
looks
that last one, dude.
terrifying.
Cheers. See y'all tomorrow.
This might be my last one.
Mm.
Alright, I think I swallowed it before it touched my tongue.
It's a problem for your stomach.
I'm doing great. Look at me. I'm perfect.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised you're holding together as well as you are. Would you say that the pressure of the OR is coming in handy right now?
Oddly enough, one of the nice things is for us, the OR typically is not very pressured. It's not that the stakes are low. It's just the experience is so high that we've done it a zillion times before. This is a first.
What is one thing you wish all your patients knew about orthopedic surgery or just healthcare as a whole when it comes to what y'all do?
I would say one thing is we have improved so much as a profession. You know, everybody thinks of, when mom had their hip replaced or knee replaced and what it was like and spending days in the hospital and things like that. You know, people frequently come in with a lot of trepidation. They don't even want to get evaluated because they're worried they may have to have surgery. So not only do we use surgery as the last option for people, and frequently we're able to get people better prior to surgery, but those patients that go through surgery, it's interesting when they come back maybe years later and they've had one side fixed and the other side is starting to go, and we start to talk to them about, okay, we can try this, and they go, just fix it. Because now I've been through it, I know the experience, it's not nearly as onerous as I thought. I know I don't even have to spend the night in the hospital one night. That's something I wish everybody kind of knew.
I'd say we see that a lot on our end with patients that they've had the experience and they have the knowledge of what to go through and what to expect. And
Yeah, I guess just feeding off of that, I wish people knew that we've come a lot further than knee replacement and hip replacement 10, 20 years ago. You don't have to stay in the hospital for 5 nights. You don't have to go to an inpatient rehab for 3 weeks. You can have a surgery and go home the same day and start outpatient physical therapy the next day, and you're actually going to get better faster that way than sitting in a rehab facility for a month.
And what's more, being at home is in itself therapeutic. You want a glass of water? You get up and get a glass of water. You don't have as much time where you're immobile or not doing much and having to get over all the stiffness when you start off again. So they kind of stay a little bit more warmed up and overall do better.
Yeah, definitely. How are your lips feeling?
Starting to calm down a little bit.
I'm feeling it here, more here.
not as much here.
Not here,
or here.
more here.
I'm kind of feeling it from here.
Yeah. All right, Lee. This next one should be a treat. It is pure ghost pepper.
Pure ghost pepper.
Or is that ghost pepper puree? Maybe I read that wrong.
Puree of ghost pepper.
Scoville rating is not that much more. It's only 55,000 more than the last one. Salud.
Solid.
Another mistake.
That one's not too bad.
I was extremely proud of you. had low expectations.
Yeah, I did too.
If you guys were not in the profession that you are now, orthopedic surgery, what profession would you see yourself in?
I think I would like to be a teacher. Probably high school. It's something that I could have a more in-depth conversation, interaction, biology, anatomy. I think I would enjoy that.
It would be a myth buster.
Yes, I see it.
So you remember a few years back when the original 2 guys quit and they were restarting the show. They had a whole application process. I actually put in an application. I had to stop and realize, oh crap, wait a minute, I'm already a doctor.
Any myths you can bust right now in relation to knee or hip replacement?
There is very little difference about where a person's incision is. This is hips, knees, and actually other types of surgeries as well. The most important thing for recovery and for treatment of the patient is how invasive you are. You can be less invasive from the front, from the back, from the top, from
Just
the
with your
side.
It's
technique.
the surgeon that makes the
technique.
difference,
Gotcha.
not the
Gotcha.
approach.
That is interesting. Let me just say real quick, if I had to bust a myth in PT, I would say knees over toes. Knees over toes is not a bad thing, okay?
You need to tell my Pilates instructors that.
Yeah, I know. It's one of the worst myths out there. It's so prevalent. You know my spiel on this. It's a misinterpretation of information. You look at force vectors through the knees. When the knees go over the toes, yes, increased stress through the kneecap, through the anterior knee. What does the body respond to? It responds to stress. Careful with that. If you're dosing it appropriately or using an appropriate technique, you're not going to cause harm. You're going to get tissue stimulation out of that.
Well, I've sent people that I have x-rays showing complete bone on bone behind their kneecap, but not in the main inside and outside compartment. And those patients, you guys fix, not me.
You heard it here.
Yeah.
All right, now we're coming into Dave's home, and Dave has invited us in for a nice
I
evening
always
dinner.
wanted to try scorpion. Really, this is great.
It's just real bits of scorpion in it.
Lee, you were asking about hitting the million mark. This is actually 1,040,000.
I'm actually shaking. All right, cheers.
Theirs actually pretty good. Get a good taste to it.
It has a good taste. I will give you that.
I just am convinced all my taste buds are now burned off.
We have tons of funny stories that we laugh about constantly. That happen in our clinic all the time. You guys got any funny stories?
You already know which one I'm thinking of.
I'll say one before Katie's time. I was in the OR. An earthquake happened. That was unexpected.
What portion of the surgery was this?
Dead smack in the middle.
Oh.
So it was a minor earthquake, but you're like, "Ooh."
Wow, that is wild.
Mine was, I guess there's two. The raining in the OR situation and the metal shard. At one of the hospitals we operated at, the floor above, I guess one of the patients left the shower on, and it started to rain down through, thankfully in the corner, so nothing was contaminated.
What's this metal shard?
We wear these hoods in the OR. It's a revision case. We're trying to take out this piece of metal. I was telling Appleton that he had metal in his hood. He goes, yeah, I know. There's stuff all over my head.
Sometimes when you're taking things out, it is a fairly athletic. These things are designed to go in and stay there.
Yeah.
So you're fighting a lot of engineers to get it out. So sometimes there's a little bit of force supply.
I was telling him that he had a metal shard in his hood. He goes, yes, I know. There's stuff all over my hood. I go, no, it is in. It had pierced into the plastic visor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a shard of metal about yay big.
Wow.
Literally halfway through this plastic visor. But that's why we always wear eye protection.
Okay, so since one of the subjects get hips, I had a gentleman that had a hip anterior approach, and so we were in the clinic and I had multiple patients, and then he came over and said, yeah, the doc wants you to look at my surgery. I'm like, okay, let's look at it real quick. Thinking he's just gonna pull down his sweatpants. I'm on my little stool, helping a lady on the table. I turn over and that guy's got his trousers all the way to the ground. He's got no underwear on in the middle of the clinic, and I was like, whoa, sir, you didn't have to do that, but the incision looks good. So pull him back up, but I'll let the doc know.
All right, y'all ready for the last one, guys?
No, I'm not ready.
This one is also in the family of Dave's. Apparently, it is insane plus rating and has a Scoville range of somewhere between 1 to 2 million.
You know when it goes off the scale and it's now an estimate in the millions?
I'll still feel your tongues, right?
No.
I can't feel the outside of my face.
I'm actually losing my hearing. I am totally doing a wussy. No.
What was that?
Mm-hmm.
No, that's straight chemical.
I have never tasted meat thinner, but
It's the swallowing.
it's not even just the swallowing, it's the breathing, it's keeping my eyes open.
Ask a question while they're hurting.
Oh, what's the highest level of function that one of your patients has achieved following surgery?
It's a lot better function than I'm feeling right now. I'll show you there. One of my patients, he is actually in high-level judo.
Oh, wow.
He was a previous sparring partner with Bruce Lee.
Wow.
So pretty high level. We generally try to ask patients not to be in the contact or impact type sports.
Sure.
I have plenty of patients just like my kids don't listen to me.
Oh,
Couldn't have said it better myself.
any questions for us?
I do have a question.
You know what? I'm gonna take a wing.
Here, this one. You should do this one.
The bomb?
Yeah.
That's the one?
That was the.
Why did you? Is this the worst one?
For me.
I'll do a different sauce. I do it.
All right, Lee, I can't let you write it by yourself. Just give it to me.
That's right. Peer pressure.
I will not.
All right. Cheers.
Why did you do that one?
Why
did you do the bomb?
Because you did it. What type of orthopedic ailment between the hip and knee do you feel that you are the most successful in fixing?
Hip flexor tendinopathies. There's almost no exercise they're doing in their daily life to strengthen their hip flexors, and they start having that pain, and they immediately go to, let me stretch this. Let me stretch, and they're not doing anything to solve the root cause of the issue, which is an underloaded tendon that can't tolerate the activity that you're putting it through. And sure, they do the stretch, they get a little bit of stretch-induced analgesia, it feels good in the short term, but they're doing nothing to strengthen that tissue or improve the tensile strength, then tolerate their sport or their job or their whatever their daily activity is. So it responds very quickly, typically, very well to some kind of dose loading, either through isometrics or eccentric loading.
Well said, man. I don't think you had as much sauce as I did.
I don't know how, I just blacked out. So
I'm partial to, I guess, PFPS, patellofemoral pain syndrome. I guess an analogy would be, it's kind of like non-specific back pain, right? We know anatomically things are solid, tissue's good, they're just having non-specific pain. But when people start having pain, in the knee, they'll shy away from moving, right? They'll start going, oh, that hurts. Well, I shouldn't move it. Something's wrong. Something's off. Or I'm causing damage by feeling pain. And once we start loading that tendon in an appropriately dosed way and kind of instructing them and educating them on that, you're not causing damage or causing harm, it's a lot easier to work with.
Let's say for me, like once they get to you guys and they have maybe a small meniscus tear, and you guys are like, hey, go do a little bit of PT. Let's see if this thing kind of heals itself type deal. They come see us. The biggest part is they're so scared. They first go to Google and they're like, "Oh, I'm going to die because I have this partial tear and the surgeon didn't want to cut on me." A lot of education, explaining what a meniscus does, throwing in there if the surgeon said it's okay, it's probably okay. Strengthen their quad, letting them kind of understand how to be more quad dominant in their movements and not so hip dominant.
Maybe even back to your previous question of medical misconception. Most common one, in my opinion, would be that an MRI is a tube of truth. That an MRI tells you what the answer is.
That clip.
If that was the case, Katie and I would never go to clinic. We wouldn't need to. It's amazing how many people that we actually treat in a year are very frustrated or maybe have treatment for several years for a condition that we take a look at it and we say, well, it's because you're treating the MRI, not the patient.
That's a great practitioner. You're not in there just to get someone in for surgery. You're trying to get people better. It's true. So that's amazing. Should we wrap it up?
Yeah. Please.
Somehow we survived again. Thank y'all so much for suffering with us.
Thank you.
I would just like to say, Dr. Appleton, I was very impressed with your ability to articulate, even though you were suffering with the E. I couldn't believe it. This guy's got like tears coming out of his eyes. He's articulating and answering so well.
Thanks for everything you guys do for the community and for your patients. Again, that's Dr. Stephen Appleton and Katy Neary with the Texas Joint Institute in Dallas and Frisco. Thank you for watching and suffering this video with all of us. Remember, health is rented, not owned, and rent is due every day. Phil made that up.